Boa tarde and welcome to One UN One Voice, where we discuss the key issues facing our beloved Timor-Leste. Today, we tackle one of the most urgent challenges, climate change, and its impact on our nation. Rising temperatures, unpredictable rainfalls, floods, and droughts are affecting our agriculture, food security, impact on human health and communities. In Timor-Leste, loss and damage describes the severe impacts of extreme weather events such as floods, droughts, landslides, and rising sea levels that damage homes, land, livelihoods, and force people to move, even though we contribute little to global emissions. Joining us are four distinguished guests leading efforts in policy, international cooperation, and practical climate action. Let's meet them. Ambassador Adao Barbosa, Ambassador at Large at Climate Affairs Representative, Government of Timor-Leste. Ambassador Adao Barbosa is leading the government efforts in tackling climate change, from shaping policies to representing Timor-Leste on global climate platforms. He will share insights into the country's climate commitments and challenges. Thank you, Ambassador, for joining us today. Our second guest is Mr. Shobari Gutierrez, Project Manager, UNEP GCF project in Timor-Leste on early warning system. Thank you, Mr. Shobari. Then we also have Mana Timna Latif, Team Lead and Technical Officer for Climate Change and Environmental Health Program at WHO Timor-Leste. Mana Timna, welcome to the program. And finally, we have Mana Felisberta de Silva. She's Head of the Climate Change and Environment Unit at UNDP in Timor-Leste. Mana, welcome. Welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us today. At every level, I would say. Yeah. At every level, I would say. Thank you so much, Mana Timna. Mana Felisberta, I will come back to you. Yes. On National Adaptation Plan. You know, it was discussed earlier in our discussion. And the second key word which came out of our discussion is climate resilience. So in light of the National Adaptation Plan, if you could enlighten us that how UN is working with the government to strengthen climate resilience in Timor-Leste.
Okay. The government of Timor-Leste, in partnership with the UN, various agencies working on various levels and sectors. I'll just give several examples of what UNDP and also other agencies are doing to support building climate resilience in Timor-Leste. The first initiative that we are working on is development of climate resilient infrastructure. It's focused more on small scale rural infrastructure, includes building resilient water supply facilities, irrigation systems, but also gabion wall protections, and also rural roads. As you know, if we travel outside of Dili, we will see roads that were being destroyed because of soil erosion or landslides. That is why it's very, very important to actually integrate climate change in the planning and design of infrastructure. So climate resilient infrastructure not only focus on the construction of physical infrastructure, but it combines with watershed management and reforestation, agroforestation to actually reduce the risk of disasters. These are one of the initiatives, but we're also working on with the Ministry of Health as well as the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Public Works, the installations of solar panel lights for households, but also in schools, ICT labs, but also health posts. This is not only in the resilience part, but also mitigating the climate change mitigation, but which also contributes to communities' resilience as well, since if they have access to solar lights or electricity, the communities will have more time actually to do their productive activities during nighttime as well. And it contributes to their livelihood development. Other initiative, we work on the small-scale rural infrastructure, but also lower-level community infrastructure, including like health facilities and schools, building toilets at school, school and also health centers, but also community centers, construction and rehabilitation of community centers to make it resilient against climate risk. Others, climate adaptations that we're working on is also working with the Ministry of Agriculture.
Excellent.
Yeah, to actually improve management of protected areas. For example, like Timor-Leste have Nino Koni Santana National Park. We're working with the local authorities and also the national authorities to actually improve the sustainable management of Nino Koni Santana National Park, but also designation of new marine protected area in Betano and Bariki, but also working with local communities in the protected area to actually protect and conserve endangered species, especially like turtle, focus on turtle conservations. Others initiative we're working on also is promoting nature-based solutions in agriculture, fisheries, but also ecotourism. We previously have already like working on mangrove, working with NGOs, but also community groups in 7 municipalities to actually rehabilitate and mangrove ecosystems in the coastal zones of Timor-Leste, but also promoting alternative livelihoods, because the communities living in coastal areas are really depending on the sea for their livelihoods, and sometimes livelihood activities contributed to destruction of mangrove ecosystems. And that's why the intervention is to protect and rehabilitate mangrove ecosystem, but at the same time providing alternative livelihoods for the communities, including on fisheries, but also promoting climate smart agriculture for the rural populations.
Amazing work, I would say. Excellent, Manavris. But please, sure.
Just quickly add regarding what you have already done, because we also have some implementation in the ground in supporting government in meteorology system. So we are also investing in the climate meteorology infrastructure. So this year we are going to install AWS.
What is AWS?
AWS automated weather system. So we'll be automated weather system.
Automated weather system.
Automated weather system to be installed in 9 municipalities. So we also have two AWS, automated observation system. So to be installed in the Swai Airport and Dila Airport for aviation forecasting. So we're also going to install.
And this is going to happen this year.
We're also going to install 3 dual polarized radar. One in the Swai Airport.
2 polarized radars.
X-band radar, yeah.
Right.
So to be installed in Swai, Dili, and Bokau Airport.
And what will those radars will do?
So because we are providing the weather forecasting to the government and also Timor-Leste population in general. So those radars will be provide accurate information. For example, let's say Kaikoli villages will be affected for flood, because we are predicted by this automated weather system. The data will come to a climate information center, stably set up in the Ministry of Transport and Communication Office. So once those data automatically sent to the climate data information center, they will do the forecasting, and they will plot that Kaikoli village will be affected by flood.
Wow!
But Kaikoli is a villages. But use this radar to see that specific location which household will be affected. Then government have the information to evacuate those.
And just for my own information, where this information will be monitored, and the government there will be, I believe there will be a monitoring station or somewhere.
Yeah, that's called climate data information system is set up. Fully set up under Ministry of Transport and Communication.
Under Ministry of
Transport and Communication through National Director of Meteorology and Geophysics. They will be manage those.
They will monitor.
They will monitor,
and then they will share this information. How will they share this information with the communities?
So basically,
it's really interesting. I mean, for us, I mean, and for our audiences.
Yeah, basically, the information, as I mentioned before, we have those automated weather information system. So data will be collected every 10 minutes. coming from its municipalities to the climate data information system. Then Director of Meteorology and Geophysics Office, the technical staff will do the forecasting, and this forecasting will be issued to the public every day.
How?
Every 3
through
days.
social
media,
through
maybe through
public media, through
RTTL,
TV stations,
TV station,
RTTL, radio. Wow.
Because we have the communication strategy plan platform is developed to set every day, every 3 hours, the information should be circulated to the public so they can access accurate information, then weather prediction information accurately.
I would like to add something.
Please do that. Please do that. It's really. I mean, this is what makes our program very lively because, as I said from the very beginning, we want to have a very lively discussion.
Because we also have a 5 decision support system, as my colleagues already mentioned. So we are developing the CRIS system.
Come back to you just a minute.
CRIS is for health, so climate health information system. So it will be developed a platform to support Ministry of Health. For example, the information collected from the weather data station, the NMC will do the forecasting. They also will do the specific data supporting system to the Ministry of Health. For example, the climate effect to the health sectors will acquire all of this and will help the Ministry of Agriculture to develop the policies, to how they respond to the health issues that are affected by climate change. And also for oceans, we have one system called OSFAS. It's already ongoing, so it's developed. We will install one marine buoy near Delhi, so it will be measure the sea waves every day. Then informing the fishermen that okay, this time will be have a sea wave, so you don't have to go to fishing. So maybe next time the information will be provided to fishermen and Delhi Port Authority every day. Then we have the Sesame system is agriculture as well.
This is the realization of all these policies at government level, at community level, at business level, at all other levels. Thank you so much, Mahashabari, for giving us these insights. Mana Timna, over to you. You wanted to add something to these initiatives, that how UN is supporting the government and people of Timor-Leste.
Actually, I just want to mention because we have a lot of climate sensitive diseases, and if you look at the number 10 out of the global disease burden study, the number among the top number 10 diseases, most of them are climate sensitive. And currently, when we do the analysis, we are a lot of time relying on global satellite data. So once this meteorology, the live weather data is available, it should help us to make use the local data, which would be able to give more accurate predictions on the changes in climate sensitive diseases. From our side, we have actually pilot tested an early warning alert response system. We have initiated the work on one of the main disease for climate sensitive disease, which is dengue. And again, we had to rely on global satellite data when we did the vulnerability adaptation assessments also. We had to use all the modeling, everything we do, we had to use this data. So it will be very interesting to get live meteorology data that will help us to predict, create the linkage between climate sensitive diseases.
This year we will have real data.
Real data. Oh, amazing. I mean, this is what we are really looking forward to. So thank you so much, colleagues. I think, implementing the policies require a lot of funding, lot of financial resources, lots of resources, human resources, technical expertise. So for what we need financial resources, we need funding, we need other resources to tap. So my question, Ambassador, to you is that what are the barriers in terms of accessing international funding? First of all, my question is that, the pre-question to my question is that are we accessing international funding at the moment to address climate issues in Timor-Leste? If yes, what are those platforms? If not, what are the barriers? We need more financing, we need more resources to implement all the policies and initiatives in the country related to climate action.
Actually, we are very much supported by the financial mechanism of the convention. Convention means UNFCCC, and it is operating entities like GF and GCF.
GCF, yes.
Additionally, for Kyoto Protocol and also for Paris Agreement, we have Adaptation Fund. So what we are doing, we are negotiating with our partners to provide further political influence to the Conference of Parties decisions to guide GCF, Green Climate Fund, and also a Global Environment Facility to provide financial support to developing countries, including Timor-Leste. Under the GF, we have LDCF, GF LDCF, Least Developed Countries Fund. And we also have Green Climate Fund, but the criteria to access is it's critically important to be discussed, and it's very difficult to access directly. So that's why part of negotiation, or as a result of our negotiations with our partners, including requesting developed country parties to provide their financial support into this pocket, I could say, of GF and DCF and also AF, Adaptation Fund. They've already contributed, but it's also competitive. For Green Climate Fund, it's a first comes, first serves. For LDCF, it's already allocated, let's say 20 million for one of, LDC, for each LDC country, we have 20 million allocated. But how to access, we need to have accredited entities or direct access entities in place if Timor-Leste is going to access directly. If not, then we need to have accredited entities in place like UNDP, like UNEP, like WHO and others. So the project activities that have been discussed by different colleagues, by Mana Filiberta, by Subari, and also Maltilma, those are result of our negotiations with our partners.
That is happening.
So in terms of assessing finance, we have already received financial support from GF, DCF, and also not from Adaptation Fund, but GF and also LDCF, and also Green Climate Fund. For Green Climate Fund, we have already received about 65.3 million US dollars, including but not limited to 21.7 million allocated to early warning system that was discussed by our colleagues, Subari. And we also have 22.3 million US dollar allocated for rural infrastructure that was also discussed by Mana Filiberta and others. I think it was also 1.3 million from the GF LDCF to the WHO to deal with building resilience. So we have already received, let's say, financial support from GF, DCF, and also others, especially from GF and DCF. But in fact, those are still quite limited to address all issues, all priorities under the different documents that I mentioned, including but not limited to NAPs with regard to adaptation and NDCs with regard to adaptation, mitigation, and even loss and damage. But in fact, we received about 150 million US dollars from both GF and also DCF. And the barriers that we are facing at the moment is, firstly, no single national direct access entity has been established. So somehow the feeling in place is having no ownership. That's barrier that we are facing at the moment. And we also have some limited human capacities to formulate our own project idea or project ideas, project concept notes, because GF, DCF, they at least DCF, they required some sort of project ideas to be developed by government entity or entities, and it will be offered to accredited entities like UNDP, World Bank, UNEP, and others to elaborate concept notes and
Yeah.
also full project proposals. So this is the obstacles that we are facing at the moment, human capacity to develop our own project ideas. But to tackle this issue, we always discuss with our
partners and supporters.
not really partners, but accredited entities, I could say,
Accredited entities.
because money is allocated directly to the government, but implemented by
By
our
the accredited
entities.
agencies, right.
So we always discussed with our different accredited entities internationally, because it's multilateral implementing entities like World Bank, like UNDP, like UNEP and others, WHO, to help us to come up with a project idea or project ideas, project concept notes, and once it's approved or those approved by the government, it will be requesting to further develop project proposals. And then it will be submitted to Green Climate Fund Secretariat and also for GF Secretariat and others. So this is something that we are facing at the moment. So obstacles is human capacity to develop our own proposal, and also ownership issue is something that we still need to solve, and also accessing to the fund is not really easy. So accessing modalities in terms of taking the time. Once we propose or submit our proposal, it takes more than 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and even 5 years to get the financial support or to get approval from the board, let's say from Green Climate Fund. That's difficulties we are facing at the moment, because climate change is happening now, not for the next year.
No, sure, yeah, it's
Huh?
happening
It's
every
urgent.
moment.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Exactly.
an ongoing threat.
Exactly.
It's happening every moment. With every tick of the clock,
Yeah.
climate change is happening. So we have to
in
address
terms of implementation difficulties, somehow we still need to see the implementation issues linking to the local needs.
Very
because
true.
local needs somehow it's quite different, and then the offered project will be quite different.
Very, very true.
So I really appreciate actions done by UNDP. In 2018, we had vulnerability assessments at Suku level, village level. I was also consultant for this. And then Subari was also part of the MIT team. So we did a vulnerability assessment in 25 different villages in Timor-Leste just for 1 week. And then we provided recommendation, and then again the UNDP, when they provide proposals for the I think DCF, they address all these recommendations from these assessment documents. So I think 3 months ago I went to ILU and I provide some sort of monitoring to the project's activities. I did see the implementation of rural roads that was mentioned by Madam Felisberta. It was exactly in the place that we conduct some sort of vulnerability assessments. So that's real thing that we need to synchronize the needs-based project approach.
Very, very
but
true.
somehow it's a bit
that's
far from the needs that actually they require.
That's
and another issues that we need to see as a problem for Timor-Leste, especially from government sides, is some sort of monitoring evaluation systems that should be also providing some sort of frameworks. So and also involvement of the government entities to be part of the
I think that's
monitoring evaluation issues. That's something that we need to solve. But in fact, for overarching issues, I think cooperation among different entities in helping the priorities, implementing the priorities under the NAPs and other documents are taking place now. Those are supported, from our partners, from our accredited entities like UNDP, like WHO, like UNEP and others.
Very good. Excellent. Ambassador, thank you so much. Thank you, colleagues, for joining us today. And we discussed the challenges and issues. In the next part, we will talk about the solutions. Thank you so much. Today's discussion has shown that climate change is not just a distant threat. It's here, affecting lives in Timor-Leste through significant loss and damage. Each one of us has a role to play, whether it's reducing waste, supporting clean energy, or demanding stronger policies. Every small step contributes to a bigger change. Thank you to our esteemed guests for sharing their insights, and thank you to our viewers for joining us. Let's work together for climate resilient Timor-Leste.